So, what are we doing today? Well, this is a bit of a departure from the electronic stuff, but I've been getting irritated enough by the thing you see in front of you to try and do this video. So, what are we looking at? Well, on Facebook and a few other platforms, there's been some really hoaxy stuff going around recently. This is one iteration of it. This is Carlton Draft. I've seen a bunch of other ones with different beers, free giveaways, stuff from different countries, from America, Costco vouchers, all sorts of stuff like that. But they lead you back to a site like this. Now, I want to tell you why this is a hoax. So, we're going to start from a bit that I'm just going to... Well, we can't really see it from the top of the screen at the moment, but to start off, the domain is wrong. We've got a lightrefreshing.win at the top. That's nothing to do with Carlton Draft. That should be a start. What's going on? The second thing is that this is a JavaScript that we're looking at. That's a jQuery.js. Now, I've done a bit of delving into the page code here, or the source code here, and I'll show you how I did that in a moment. But where these start from is JDeliver, which is an open source JavaScript for various purposes, mostly for collecting statistics. And that should give you another little tip off there. So what I did is I leached this whole website. I grabbed the whole thing and I had a bit of a look through some of the source code. Now this is the page we're actually looking at. So I'm going to go through a few tips here. Now don't stress out if you're not familiar with HTML and this sort of stuff. It's been a few years since I've done it too, but let's start from a start. This little link here, this is where one of the main images is coming from. It's not coming from a Carlton website. It's coming from Emigur, which is basically a little bit like Pinterest. It's where you share photos. So for a start, they're not using their own photo. This doesn't help that the whole domain here tracks back to something called like Domain Silo or something like that. It's an off-brand domain host that is synonymous with fake websites like this. Anyway, there's numerous references to JavaScripts in here. And one of the things I noticed when I look up these JavaScripts, let's see if I can look up one on a different tab here. One of these I had up here. Straight off the bat, it actually tells it to disable right-clicking function, which is, I've got to find it through here. I'll find it later. Anyway, straight off the bat, they disable right-clicking, and straight away, that is an alarm signal for me. Something is not right if you can't right-click on this page. There's also strange SHA tags for files in here, probably the JavaScript, which tells me they're licensing from something as well, and anonymous origin. They're trying pretty hard to really cover the tracks as to where this track's back from. Again, not the actions of a legitimate company or somebody that's going to give away something for free. So, long story short, you're not going to get your beer for free. But let's just keep scrolling through. This is all just like cell padding and CSS stuff, all cascading style sheets. So there's another JavaScript here, and straight away, here we go, on mouse down, disable right click. So you can't right click anything. So let's keep going through a little bit further. They're setting up all the character sets here. Now, there's references to com.do. whatever this is. Yeah, comdone.com. I looked that up. Let's have a look here. That goes to this one, which is redirects about 4 or 5 times and ends up on another spammy site. Not something I'd expect to see buried in a Carlton Draft site. So again, another alarm bell here going off. So, and again, here's a different domain. Now it's lightrefreshing.win. I don't know what DNS server is hosting that, but it doesn't come up on the ICANN register anyway. And on top of that, they're just generating a random string of numbers after the end, so they're making it look fancy just with a random number. So here's all the actual text in here, all the tables, and now there's yet another another reference in here. Now this is obviously where the JavaScripts are coming from. They haven't even bothered to modify them, so that little line there is where we ended up going to this one here, which is how we discovered that they're using open source JavaScript from someone else. Yet again, not something that I would expect out of a legitimate website. So let's go back to our notepad here again. Let's keep scrolling through all of this. And again, they're blocking context menu, so you can't right click and view source. And they're using funny labeled JPEG images. And when I actually go into the website Leech here, when I look at the image folder, so this is the root directory of the site that I grabbed. Let's go light refreshing. When we look in images, there aren't actually any images here. There are further HTML pages that also bring in images from other sources. It's just onion layers of stuff. And you can see in here, there's this is the, it's actually grabbed the link or a symlink to Imgur of the, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, of the images that they're using. They're also collecting some statistics, which I would be highly surprised if they weren't. Now there's a reference in here to Twitter as well, which I want to show you. So in one of these, let's see if I had it highlighted here somewhere. Oh, they've also taken, yeah, they've taken a bootstrap from Twitter. So I'm pretty sure that the statistics, they'll probably have reporting back to a Twitter page somewhere to make life a little easier. So whatever's going on here is getting reported back to someone's Twitter account, which, given the amateur nature of the coding here, I would probably find that account hard-coded somewhere in here if I could be bothered. But I'm really not that bothered, and I'm probably not that good at it yet either. So, you know, if somebody wants to get involved in this, I'm happy to pass on what I've leached. If you want to go and chase these guys down and report them, I'm going to report their host and see if I can get them pulled. Now, here's the next bit. There's a little questionnaire in this that tells you all about, and ask you how old are you, everything like that. Now, I want to point in here, they've got two buttons, but all that happens when you go through that button is it moves to the next question. It doesn't care whether you say yes or no. You can click no, I'm not 18, no, I've never drunk it, no, I don't like it. It's still going to go, hey, we'll give you free beer. So literally all these questions just keep moving down to the next question. Now, when you go to analyze and weight your response, it just makes you wait a random amount of time and says, oh yeah, all the questions are answered. And then it goes, oh yeah, nothing was found. It's just all wank factor to try and make it feel like you've done things. Now when it says congratulations here, you've been qualified to get your beer, yeah, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, here's do all these things and then click on the button. And now all the button does is click you through and share it somewhere else. Like it's just gonna, if this PHP is allowed to function, I'm reasonably sure that's just going to hijack your Facebook page and reshare it on your page without your knowledge. I suspect that's what it's engineered to do. It didn't happen on mine, but I've got a lot of blocking and a lot of scripts running with Tamper Monkey that modify Facebook's behavior, as well as I'm running through an ad blocking DNS over DOH. So it didn't really get to go through. And now they make you go through, if you get through all of that, and this is the bit that I didn't get to, they run another JavaScript window and they make you go through all their other crap to go through all their other sponsors and sign up for them as well. And at the end of it, I'm pretty sure you're not going to get any free beer. So you guys basically are going to waste half a day, not get any free beer, and pretty much sell off all your details. Now here's another little function here that we want to look at. This is where it does its countdown. So this is all just basically, and this tells me this might be not an English speaking person that is doing this. There's some foreign languages here when they're writing variables, and it's not in English. So they might be foreign language, and I would hazard a guess, and maybe German in there, but that because it looks a bit Latin-esque. But anyway, somebody else can tell me more about that. But anyway, this is just some funky little routines here to try and really poorly make a countdown timer. There's actually a way to do this in probably about 3 or 4 lines. They've done it in about 20 or 30 lines to make this count down. So yeah. Anyway, and then they've done a bit more here to try and make it the timer do its thing. That's all just wank factor to make it look like it's doing something fancy behind the screen. Now, that's also the other thing. I won't jump up to the top, but when it tells you how many free beers are left, that's a fixed number. There's no variable about it. It's always going to show you the same. In fact, let's just jump all the way back up the top here and see if I can find that. Somewhere up the top, it shows you there's so many free beers left, and it was something like 714. It was a fixed number. It's never going to change. So, yeah. And this today only thing, there's nothing in here that's date dependent, nothing at all. So let's scribble back down to the bottom here, and we'll have a bit more of a look through the rest of this here. Now, I know there's a few of you that may or may not be following my channel. I know a couple of mates are, that are going to know far more about the way this is laid out than me. And you guys, you're welcome to critique this and get in and make any comments you want and share it to other people. But yeah, basically I wanted to explain that you're not getting free beer, and do it properly. And yes, that sounds like my free time is up. Anyway, yes, I used HT track to leech the site. That's what that's added in there. There's a few other things here, some repetitive. There's several different iterations of this page, all with different graphics, all from different sources and different pages, and it's all stacked on this one site. And so certainly we didn't go to the Carlton website, and I think when we look at the grand total of everything that's in here, we're looking at about 992k. So guys, you're not getting free beer.